All right.
Recording in progress.
Got it.
Well, we got Nigel Tufnell as our guest tonight. Nigel, you can show us the guitars and don't even point at it. I was just looking at it. Don't even look at it.
Lick my love pump.
Yes, your fucking beard is trimmed.
Yeah, I trimmed it yesterday. Tried to get it to grow in one length. Maybe even it out somehow. So I don't have any luck with that. Just start trimming it, and it just keeps going and going and going.
Looks good.
That's fine. It'll grow more. That's the beauty of the hair.
I remember back in the day when Chris all he had was a goatee. Didn't even trim the sides, did he? Mirror.
For years.
How about the 90s? Like in 96, when I first met you, did you have any facial hair then? I don't remember.
Yeah, I grew up, what was it? For Leon Durham in 87 when I went to college. I grew a goatee for Leon Durham.
he asked you to?
No, we didn't have any correspondence, but I thought he was pretty badass. So I was like,
people call
like
you
Leon
the bull
Durham.
too?
I'm like, grow facial hair like Leon Durham.
I gotta run in the other room and get my bowl.
Attaboy.
Honey bunches of oats again, just like last week.
Look at this one.
Hey, I'm all alone.
Do you remember this?
Oh. Sports Encyclopedia Pro Football.
This book is so fucking great.
What year is that from?
Let me see. 96. Yeah, 96. The August 96 edition. But it goes every year. It gives you each team, it gives you like a one-page recap of the season. Then it gives you like each team a two-paragraph recap of what their season was. Every game, the stats from it, and team totals.
So do they have predictions for 96?
Yeah, through 96. It's just
through 96. Oh, okay.
Reference book. It's just
did they predict Jets would go? I think it was.
It's like it's the internet in book form.
I think they went 3-13 and then 1-15 under Kotite. And then Parcells came in. Parcells came in.
Ken O'Brien years? Or?
Was it?
Was that Ken O'Brien?
Well, they ended with they had Neil O'Donnell. After they saw him in the Super Bowl throw 2 interceptions to that hit the defensive backs right in the numbers, they were like, "That's our man."
I remember liking Wesley Walker a lot for the Jets. Was he blind in one eye, maybe, or like colorblind, possibly?
I don't remember that. He couldn't have been blind in an eye. He'd have no depth perception,
That would make him that much more incredible.
Colorblind. Maybe he just meant like he doesn't see color,
Exactly. He was ahead of the curve.
Even that statement could probably get you in trouble these days. So just stay away from the whole color topic altogether.
Putting that on Jeff's face. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
You're good. Mets have turned it, or how the Mets doing now? I haven't watched them in a while.
They got swept by Tampa.
Right.
Who got swept by the White Sox, so that's not looking too good. And I think the Mets have allowed 52 stolen bases, and they've gotten 2 caught stealings, I think.
Wow.
Tampa's beating up on the White Sox right now.
It's Mets.
Today they are, yeah.
They're playing the Mets.
Well, you were playing Tampa. I'm just saying Tampa is beating up on the White Sox right now. I gotta see what Yandy Diaz is doing.
You know what that means?
I hope he's doing
Mets are playing
good.
Tampa tonight.
No, the Sox are playing them down.
Sox are playing them now.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that.
Oh my God! Yeah, no. Yeah, the Mets got swept over the weekend. I'm sorry.
Wait, it's Sunday, Monday.
Mets are playing the Cardinals. That's right. They're playing the Cardinals.
There you go.
I was actually watching the first few innings of the game, so you think I would remember.
Well, thought about picking up Carlos Carrasco yesterday, and then I thought, no, don't do that again, you dummy. And he threw a fucking gem.
Wow.
Well, I did that once. He did all right, and I dropped him, and then I picked up somebody else, and they sucked. And
streaming pitching is hard this year, dude. There's been a lot of bad starters,
man. I mean, that's you're talking about like 10 extra guys gone.
Mm-hmm. And innings are up, starting pitchers are pitching fewer innings. Yeah, it's gonna be a tricky year filling in all those innings.
So Chris, I have to ask you,
Yes.
and you of all people, why didn't you go after Hector Neris when he was out there after they fucking bumped off the Alzolay?
I didn't like the way he was pitching to start off the season. And the
A
thing
lot
that
of
I was
walks, right?
yeah, too many walks. And he's thrown in 70 games the last 3 years. And from some of the analytics I was reading, it's just like, that's not many guys do that 4 years in a row or 3 years in a row and maintain success. So I'm leery of Hector Neris myself. Even since the Cubs moved him in, he's had a couple saves, but every time he pitches, there's guys on base.
But are you going to
I don't
pin
think
your acumen against $8 million a year Craig Counsell? He obviously believes in him.
he's smart, but I picked up that James MacArthur, so I got 3 closers there. And then actually Evan Phillips went out yesterday, but I picked up Daniel Hudson, who's going to sub in for him for 2 weeks. So I got 4 closers. Oh, and then I got the Brewers guy, Trevor McGill.
I got
Trevor
4
McGill.
closers too. I've got Foley, I've got Finnegan, I've got Iglesias, which Iglesias, come to find out, he's like the least valuable of my closers because they're not in close games. They're blowing people out or getting beat. So Iglesias hasn't had as many people, like he hasn't had as many saves or anything like that, but
he hasn't lost his
that
job or had
Foley
any
guy,
bad outings.
Detroit.
So you're gonna be, he'll be fine. He's still great.
Oh, dude, that Foley guy from Detroit. I saw him in the very first game against the White Sox, and he threw a 9th inning against those guys in the very first game, and I watched his ball move, and he's just throwing fastballs, and that shit was moving everywhere.
I watched
And
that
I was
too.
just like,
You
holy
beat
shit,
me
this
to
guy's
him.
throwing like 98, and the ball is like just jumping. And I'm like, ooh. So I get online, I'm like, no, it's got him. Fair.
Yeah.
Done.
You beat me by like 3 or 4 minutes. I had Alan
Oh
Lang.
my god, that
Realized
guy's
he
fucking
wasn't getting
ball
the
moves
save.
great.
I'm watching this other guy. I'm like, ooh, that guy's good. Jeff got him already. That's a great pickup.
Don't that suck? That's the worst thing. It's because that's happened to me so many times.
Happened to all of us.
It's ridiculous.
Happened to Lou with Simeon Woods Richardson tonight.
Well, no, that was.
You know what? I had that guy on my NA
yeah,
roster last year.
We have weekly transactions, so it's like you're just
gotcha.
But that was like 2 weeks ago. But yeah.
It's all part of the game.
Yeah, you think you complain about starting pitching scarcity in the beer league. Well, in the 12-team single league roto league, it's just ridiculous. There's actually not really a starting pitcher available. Like
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
If I had to, I'd probably have to look at like a long reliever or something like that right now.
Just to get some innings. Right? Is there innings? Or that's roto, right? So
there's a minimum innings. I'm actually second in innings. So, like I said, there's no way I can win this league because my pitching is really good because I spent for it, and my hitting is middle of the pack, and that's probably about as best as I could hope for.
Who were your aces?
In the Roto League, I've got Gilbert, I've got Framber, I've got Corbin Burns.
Nice.
I've got Kramer.
Logan Gilbert is somebody I wish I had back, man. It's like you fucking stole him off me. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, that guy's great.
He's good.
Him and Tariq Skubal are my favorite pitchers in the league right now.
Here's the fucking thing though. And I swear to God, I think I'm gonna lean pitchers more than hitters because hitters, they bring him up and they'll sit him on the bench and like Kerstead right now. Heston Kerstead. Great in the fucking minor leagues. Goddamn got 7 at bats and he's been up for 2 weeks. What the fuck?
Yep.
If you're gonna bring him up, bring him up.
That's why
don't fucking just like bench fucking him. I mean,
that's what you get for getting NA guys on good teams. They're tricky. Like I got Jordan Beck, who when Nolan Jones went down, they brought Jordan Beck up for Colorado, and he's got 2 hits, but he's playing every day, getting 3 at bats, and just about to go to Colorado. So they're not going to.
I find a lot of comfort in the bad team guys. Like you don't get as many runs bedded in maybe, but if they can hit it all, they're going to play. Probably
the thing though with Kerstead though is it's like, why are you wasting his fucking time? Just leave him down in AAA, let him fucking boast their stats up a little bit, and fucking like you're gonna get. My fucking whole thing is like, why are you gonna curse your AAA when you don't really need the fucking guy, apparently, leave him down there. Let that team fucking get to the playoffs in AAA. That's just gonna make your fucking everybody on your team, if they win the AAA crown, they're winners. It teaches
They'll
them
get
to
extra money
win.
for that though. They probably plan on using him, or they'll plan on showcasing him and then move him throughout the season.
Then put him in.
Yeah, they got too many good players. That's the problem with them.
Austin Hayes has been fucking garbage.
Santander's been shit in the bed too.
Santander's always good.
Not the last 3 weeks he's been sitting. So, but I just wanted to bring up. How about you lost him and I took your guy and gave him back? How about Mason Miller from the A's, dude? You seen him pitch? Dude. He's throwing the ball 103 miles an hour, going 2 innings.
Number one, I am fucking just you know what? I fucking hemmed and hawed about that for a good half an hour before I fucking pulled the trigger. And I fucking lost. Still.
The A's don't
I
care.
took him off your roster and bailed on him too. So.
The A's don't care if he throws 103. All they care about is like they can trade him late July.
Exactly.
Prospects, and then he'll blow his arm out with somebody.
I don't know. The A's are playing 500 ball. They're only 2.5 out of first place right now.
They're not a bad baseball team. They're way better than the White Sox. They're way better than Miami fucking Marlins.
The A's are a game under 500. The Mets are 2 games under 500.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
It's
baseball.
Yeah, I mean.
Screwy season, man.
I know
it's okay.
Yeah, dude. Here's a fucking thing, man. I swear to God. Those Dominican players and fucking Cuban players need to go to fucking Canada in like November and play baseball. Just so they can fucking figure this shit out.
Go sign them if you're playing a cold place, man.
Being like fucking cold plate assholes in fucking April, and they can't hit a goddamn thing because they don't like the sting in their butt. I don't know. It drives me nuts. Because they all start slow. They all do.
Shouldn't the guys from Florida be doing that too then? Rizzo? From Florida.
Not so much there, but I mean, it's like you go up north, if you're northern, oh, you're fucked. The other thing too is what we got to remember.
Nicky Lopez is from Naperville. He loves hitting.
Well, I know that. I'm not lumping him into that group, but it's like Abreu, fucking like Robert, fucking Eloy Jimenez, all the guys that are from like I don't want to say it. I don't want to be sounding like racist, but it's like those guys are used to playing in cold weather or warm weather.
It sounds like old school baseball.
They're used to playing in warm weather, and for the years now. For the last fucking 10 years, I've seen those guys struggle in the first 2 months of the year. Some of them. Hey, old. Tallulah.
You were talking about just missing out on players. I think this is probably a couple of years ago, but I looked to see if a player was available, and he was. And then I kind of like checked something else, like, well, do I really want to pick him up? And I was like, yeah, I'll pick him up. And then I went to go pick him up, and he was gone. And in that 4 minutes that I paused, I was like, God, I'm never going to do that again.
Cutthroat league here. You never know. People move fast. I was talking with Phil about that earlier. I grabbed somebody. He just texted me like 20 seconds after I got him. He's like, nice pickup. I was just going for that dude. Man, this league moves fast.
Well, let me.
Phil's put together another juggernaut.
Yeah, I'll share the standings and get through that part of it here. Let's see. How do I? Should be a pro.
Oh, it's Trout though, so it's kind of like hurting him.
He went 5-1 this week again.
Yeah,
I know. You got to watch what he does in the last couple of days though, because he jumped. He got a 179 day.
I got 126 that day, and I lost 50 points to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we frozen?
No, I don't know.
I'm just no image is coming up though.
Okay.
Just back out and try it again.
Oh, I see.
Fucking Zoom. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Oh, God.
All right, you see it?
Yep. All good. Thank you.
All right. Well,
I'm still getting boned up the ass.
Dads of the Buddha Kings. They moved in there that lead last week. And,
Dude, that day when Elder and fucking Keaton Wynn pitched, and I got like a -12 and a -13. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm dead in the water. I'm
We've all had
surprised I got a 1-5. But Platinum Sombreros had a really rough time this week. Thank God.
according to this, Sombreros could be even worse off because they're the lucky lads with 2 wins. So, and then games played overage, Spears over, Platinum's most under. That's new, and Cal's right in the middle. Wait till next year is the IP overage king now.
He's brought
taking over
himself
from
up.
Knockers or me. I don't know what it was.
Mhm.
Well,
Let's play is,
here's the thing. Mike is a little bit of a gamer. He's going to do a good job in this league. It's just he's just got to figure it out. That's all there is to it.
yeah, he's way over on the innings, which is, that's fine. He can pare those down, but he's under in games, so he's going to have to concentrate in his games. I think he did close that gap last week.
59 innings this year is not going to be the same 59 innings as last year.
Yeah, so John's
The way your
59
innings
under.
pitch went up.
So John probably wants to address that before it gets, any bigger.
John's got a bunch of
yeah.
extra. He's got all that pitching on his bench, though. He's got guys who he just doesn't start. He'll have no problem catching
So he
that up
should
when
be
he
able
wants.
to make that up.
Well, he's doing it. I think he's picking and choosing who he starts.
Mhm.
And
He's gonna have to be less choosy, maybe.
Yeah,
Or
maybe
he's
he should
just
be
gonna
more
spring
choosy
it on us later.
or either
beginning of the
that
year.
or start trading some of those pitchers for fucking position players.
That's
Well, no,
your
he's under
trademark, Jeff.
pitching. He's gonna have to.
Hey, anybody out there? If you want a pitcher, hit John up.
Well, he needs the pitchers. He needs those innings. I was going to say that maybe it's better to be choosy in April because it's more
Yep.
uncertain, and
Probably
I'm
pretty
gonna look
smart.
back at this real quick. I'm gonna take a look at the roster right now and see how many players he has on his pitching staff as opposed to his hitting staff.
I'll keep going.
Yeah, you keep doing what
Hack's
you're
the
doing.
closest we got to being in the middle there. We had 3 weekend warriors and 3 straw spinners. And the lucky team so far is, according to BABIP, is Spear, and Bizzotti is the new unlucky. So,
I really like those stats you've been doing this year.
Yeah, I don't want to overload too, so I'm trying to simplify things, at least on the podcast, like not go over.
Oh, yeah. I love it. So thank you.
And predicted top 4 is the same as last week, except the Knockets.
Ah!
The 4th spot. I think you knocked Spear out.
Okay. So Jono has 16 hitters and 14 pitchers.
Yeah.
Where I tend to go like one extra pitcher that I need, that as far as like outside of the like what we can post.
Yeah, I know. I
So
saw
I
that
go one
about
extra
your team.
pitcher and then it's all hitters after that.
I'm usually like that, but this year I'm grabbing. Pitching is so scarce. I just decided early to grab. I spent a lot of money on my free agent dollars just trying to get pitchers early because I kind of realized I don't have any pitchers, and pitching is hard to find.
Are you just trying to catch lightning in a bottle here and there?
More or less, yeah. I had Max Meyer. They sent him down, so I still got him as NA. But I've picked up enough. Blackburn's been amazing. He's had 3 25-point starts for me.
Who's it?
So did you notice how
Blackburn?
I shifted on my NA squad?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Before on my NA squad, I had like 7 hitters and 3 pitchers, and now it's like 5 and 5.
Yeah.
And it's more skewing towards, because you know what? Here's the thing. The pitchers come up and the hitters don't know them.
Yep.
And they have a better chance out of the gate than a fucking hitter coming into the league and not knowing.
Yep.
And those guys can really fucking suck to start. But some guys just take to it like, nobody's business, and then the fucking league kind of catches up with them a little bit and puts them into place.
I'm anxious to see the Cleveland called up their first baseman, that guy they got in from Tampa, the trade, that Manzardo guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's playing tonight. I think it's his first game. He's
Oh,
big power first baseman.
Anzardo?
Yeah, Kyle
Manzardo, they got him
Manzardo.
for Savali.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard about that guy. What whose team?
Probably, I'm guessing probably Phil or
No,
maybe John.
what team is he on now? Who's he playing
Guardians.
for? The
Cleveland
Guardians?
Guardians.
Cleveland Tampa trade last year.
Somebody does have him.
When Tampa got Savali, I was like, why do they want Savali? But I've learned not
Yeah.
to question Tampa because
Mhm.
usually they're right, but maybe they're not right in this case. I don't know.
I did the same thing. I looked into the whole Savali thing in the offseason. Like, well, if Tampa likes him, surely I should look into him. But it wound up like he came over and they changed his pitch sequencing for the last month, and he still got lit up. I'm like, well,
All right,
maybe
who do you
they'll
think?
something. So
Who do
I
you
don't know.
think has Kyle Manzardo?
John or Phil?
Who?
I'd say John or
Sean.
Phil if I had to guess.
Sean or probably Sean, right?
No,
Or maybe Gambler's Spear.
no.
Norm.
Yes. Norm's actually got two guys. Like he's got David Fry too from Cleveland. He's
Yeah.
like Norm is dipping on Cleveland.
I saw that Quan went on the IL.
Yeah, they said put him on. I think Wyatt Langford went on the IL today
Yeah,
too.
yeah, he did.
You see the first home run? Jesus Christ! There's a hair like 8 feet long in my fucking beer. Elizabeth is shedding. It can't be me.
That's the longest pube I've ever seen.
Did you say it like fucking Bill Murray and Caddyshack? That's the longest pube I've ever seen.
Well,
Oh shit!
go over the POWs here. Will
It's just
Smith for the
you know
Jags.
what? That throws me back to Clarence Thomas's fucking hearings. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, that was
Christopher
ridiculous.
Morel Homer.
That was ridiculous what they put him through.
Morel just hit a home run.
Who? Oh,
Beautiful.
Morel. All right,
6-2,
Will
they're
Smith
down.
for the Gags is the cow. Shohei for Let's Play, and I have to keep admitting how I was able to underestimate Shohei Ohtani for forever. I never was as high on him as everybody else, and I'm wrong. You know?
Thing is, he's a mediocre pitcher, but a fucking insane hitter.
Wouldn't call him mediocre pitcher, but yeah, he's a great hitter.
No, dude.
He's ridiculous.
Dude, no. When it all irons out in the end, he kind of mediocre, dude. Because I mean, there's some days where you can get like before this whole like quality start thing. And I have another question about that. But anyway, he would go 6 innings, no runs, and then as soon as they let him go farther than that, he get bombed a little bit. So
Or
it's
he's
like
on a team with no bullpen. They didn't get wins for him. But now with the Dodgers, he'll go 5 innings and he'll get wins.
no. Well, here's the thing, though. All the guys he left on always scored.
I know that was with the Angels who had no bullpen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was an interesting thing, besides BABIP fluctuation, to explain variations in a pitcher's ERA when the underlying skills are basically the same. That bullpen is a big piece of it. The inherited runs. Either it's a bad bullpen, bad fielding too, but bad bullpen, and it can even be a bullpen. It's just one of those things. Like they just didn't happen to let his runners score one year, and then it evened out. So it's a lot of factors. But that inherited runners, scoring is a big piece of the a guy's ERA that we don't probably look at very much because it's not going to be on his individual line, really, right? I don't think so. Maybe on a team. I know a team it does, and they look at that for the pitcher, how many and runners he inherited that he allowed to score, but I don't know if they. But anyway, so getting past Ohtani, and then Captain Lunkers had one of his 2 players of the week. He had Christopher Morel and Jameson Tyon, both Cubbies.
Woo!
So that had to feel good. And Rooker for the Gags, the outfielder play of the week. Dean Kramer for Spear, top pitcher, and we already said Cano. And then Jose Alvarado for Bizzotti, top relief pitcher of the week. So getting to the meat of it here, we got the standings, and Satchel went 5-1, so he's at 27-6. He's got a 5-game lead over Spear and McBride's. And Knockers moved up to 4th.
Good company.
Predicted top four and the current top four. Knockers are 7 out.
You guys should hold hands through the screens and stuff. Just like do that, you know.
7 games out of first.
So wait till next year. Went 4-2, second consecutive week. So
Nice.
you know, they're up to 9th, and you know, 7th is only a couple games away. So
I am fucking terrible. My pitching is fucking letting me down, man. I thought I had good guys. Sort of
That's what
God.
happened. I had that last year. I had 3 aces going into the season, lost them all in April, and I couldn't catch up. And then everyone who I thought was bad, I let go, and they wound up being good. Oh, it's miserable.
I'm like, hey, I'll trade Justin Steele because I got Blake Snell.
Just to make you feel better, Jeff. According to Buddha, you should be 12-21, not 10-23.
Oh, Jesus Christ! That's why the Buddha King.
So we look at hitting points per game, and it's McBride's on top, 3.1 points per hitting points per game played, and then the trailer is Sombreros and Bizzotti. I don't know. I didn't carry it out to the next decimal, but they're both on the bottom. As far as pitching, Satch is up at top, 2.7 non-save hold points per inning pitched, and our worst pitchers is the dads at just 2.9.
Just
I
like
was going to tell you that. I've been telling you that.
How about Doug's team this year? He's off to a great start.
Who?
Doug.
Oh my God! What a great start.
Riding the Shota Imanaga train.
Dude, I swear to God, what a great pickup by the Cubs. I mean, that guy is like, okay, so he's in the prime of his career.
Yeah.
But he's like a good, like he's a left-handed version of like Hendricks in his like prime. You know what I mean?
More movement too.
Well, it's got to be better than Hendricks. Hendricks Hendricks was good.
What I'm saying is, he doesn't throw hard, but he's got some fucking junk and he knows how to pitch. So he's deceptive as shit. And these guys are fucking like don't know what's coming at him right now.
I love watching that.
Look at his ERA. I'll go here. You keep going, and I'll look this shit up and then hit back on me.
I was just going to look at the bullpen. Just finish it up with the bullpen. Satch has got the most bullpen points. So besides starting pitching, they're kicking in good bullpen numbers too. And our trailer is wait till next year. And they've got the least points from saves and holds. And then the last part, just looking at the predicted final standings. And
hey, wait a second. Maybe Phil isn't really good. Maybe he's like that manager who just has a really good team and he just sits back and rides them. I mean, he has the best hitting. He's got second best pitching and the best bullpen. I mean, he's really not doing nothing. He's just coaching this team of all-stars.
He's got the
tell you what he does do. He
pitching
makes
and
one
the
hell of a
best
donor
bullpen.
kebab.
Must be easy. No.
So his hitting,
kidding, Phil. You're
hitting
awesome.
is just average. So I guess we can hang our hats on that.
we have that to look forward to when his hitters start coming around.
So predicted final standings, Satch is up to 114. I think it was 111, 110 last week. And
101 for second place is harsh.
Sombreros are only on
pace for 38. Good.
These are no longer tempered. So this is just the harsh, reality of what has happened so far. And
this is what you've done.
Gets rid of the overages, and obviously Babbitt luck is not going to, continue according to this. So,
look, by the looks of it, Gambler's Spear and the Holy Cows are going to scissor.
Well, this stuff is really fungible, Maybe
it's going to be a
year, but
absolutely. I mean, it's predicted. I mean, you can't predict anything in baseball.
I say we have
a
beer league bet of the White Sox, the real White Sox, or the last place team in the beer league will have more wins.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'd have to look at it like historically. What is it like?
Clevenger got bombed today.
I guess you'd take the White Sox.
Oh, I know.
Right?
You would usually, but this team is really bad, man.
They're like on another level terrible. I mean, it's like it's super fucking like grim.
And
I
they
mean,
have a
number one, you don't elevate a guy to a position who has failed in his past position. They have Chris Getz as like the development of player personnel, and he has not developed fucking anybody.
yeah.
The only people they develop are the ones they draft and they go up real quick because they realize, okay, we caught this one.
They haven't been developed.
But like
No.
the guys that
Andrew
need help,
Bond wasn't
they don't know
developed.
how to help them.
No. They
So
had a good
I
that's
pitching
can't
the
really
coach.
think
biggest
of anything
problem.
that he's done for this year that is. He just didn't have much of an opportunity to change much, you know. And I think that
Yeah.
the few things that he has done, I thought were good moves on his part.
They were
Pham and Grossman. I mean, you know, considering what's out there, I thought that under the circumstances, he's done fine. I don't think you can tell at all.
Oh no, yeah. I think that their best Crochet has turned into a potential ace, but you don't
Well, that
want him
guy's
pitching
great.
more than 120 innings either, you know, right? Because
Well, no, they're
coming off
babying
40 innings
him.
last year. So I mean,
Yeah,
even your
they're
best
gonna
player, he's going to throw in what 25 more games. I don't know. It's going to be a tough race. I don't see them getting to 60 at all. Maybe 50.
Yeah, you
They'll
know what?
definitely
They
get to 50. I think they can
like,
get to 60. It depends
Yeah.
on who they unload, I guess. But
Yeah, because they're going to get rid of guys too. I mean, if anybody's good, they're going to trade them from the team.
well, it depends. You know.
Oh yeah,
But
anybody
like, yeah,
established
Pham.
is good.
If Pham, has a good year like he's looking like he will, and he'll get traded again to a.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, if Moncada or Jimenez turned it around, they would trade them. But outside of that, they don't really
Nobody's
have.
going to want Moncada, But somebody would want Pham if he does well again this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
You-
What
you
stats
did-
you got up?
This
Look
is
cool.
this is just the top point getters. I think it's top 26 hitters and
Nice.
15 starters and 6 relievers. You can see on here. You know what surprised me on this was Kyle Finnegan is one of the top closers, and I would have thought he was primed to. I thought he was sort of mediocre and primed to lose that job to Hunter Harvey. I don't know if Harvey's hurt again, but I don't know. But
Every year there's some like 4th or 5th place team who has a closer who closes all their games.
yeah.
Whether it's Kansas City the last couple of years, the guy from Florida or Marlins closer, it looks like it might be Finnegan this year. Nice pickup, Jeff.
And here's Jeff's
and Foley too.
Jason Foley, yeah. So, but these are
guys,
Brian Helsley for Let's Play. Clay Holmes is doing great for Hack. Class A for Sombreros. Robert Suarez for Sash. Yeah, we'll start with closer. We'll go backwards. So starting pitchers, you see Bake's got Ranger Suarez, Shota.
Dude, Ranger Suarez has been a beast this year.
Yeah.
Satch has got a few, right? He's got Seth Lugo, Tyler Glass now, Logan Webb.
Dude, Logan Webb, that's the one that fucking bothers me. I mean, you got him last year off me, I think. God damn it.
I went into last night tied with Phil at like 510 points going into the final 6 o'clock game. I had Harper and Chapman going, and he had Schwarber and Logan Webb. I was resigned to it. And then I saw Logan Webb not getting calls. And the ump was squeezing him. And I started getting hope. And then next thing you know, the Phillies had put up 5 in the 3 2/3. I'm like, yeah, I got a chance.
I didn't even notice that. So like we had,
Harper hit a homer and got 7 points, and Webb got nothing. Schwarber got 2. So I got the 6-0.
I didn't even notice that we had a couple more 500-point weeks. I was going to see if every week that we've had this year has gone up in total points. I'm going to see if that trend continued.
Oh, you have an extra pitcher, right?
I'm just saying that every week, April 7th, 14th.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We've had more points than the previous week.
Oh, cool.
23,559.
Let me ask you this:
total
do you guys find yourself Do you guys find yourself like using a relief pitcher or a starting pitcher in that like extra pitcher spot most of the time?
Relief pitcher all the time. So I never have more than 8 starters in a day.
You'd be
So
crazy to have a starting pitcher in there.
if you had 9 starters in the day,
So why do we just why is it just a P? Why don't we just have 3
No, it's just
RPs?
a suggestion from Phil that this way, if a guy gets called from the minors, you could put him in a P slot. Sometimes it takes a while for them to qualify as a starting pitcher. Really, they
Yeah.
need like 3 games, 5 games, whatever. I was like,
That's
whatever,
fair.
but I wasn't going to.
Usually when pitchers come from the
wasn't going to
minors,
make
they're
it,
starting pitchers already. And if you're picking up a reliever from the minors, it's not. They're not going to be a fucking starter in the
No,
fucking
no,
pros.
Sometimes these guys might not qualify at starting pitcher right away. So
Yeah.
that was just but I wasn't
Because
going to add that slot. Had it added,
Right, so they came
added
up
as a
for a
P
cup of
because that would
coffee
just
the year before,
that
and
would
then
have
it
effectively
was like a
just been-
reliever.
that would effectively just been adding another 4th relief pitcher, and I did not want to do that. I wanted to
I
have.
get you.
If you
I
take
get you. No, I understand now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the logic,
It's the reason why
with-
we ask questions.
the logic with 8 starting pitchers is that if you take 14 hitting spots divided by 9 in regular baseball, 14 divided by 9 times 5 pitchers is closest to 8 starting pitchers. See, it's like
Okay.
it's like
just for an example, the Christian Scott came up yesterday for Phil, and he was only designated as a pitcher, not starting or a
Yeah,
reliever.
see, so you wouldn't
he
have
got
been
to
able to
start
do
him
that.
yesterday
I'm okay.
and
with
scored
that.
like
That's-
25 points. Dude, kid looked great, huh?
Yeah, so I'm okay with that. I just didn't want it to be a 4th relief pitching slot, which is basically what it would be.
Yeah.
If you're putting a starting
That makes
pitcher in that P
sense.
slot, you really got to think why would you do that?
Right. Okay. It's the reason why we ask these questions. We learn.
Yep.
So you won't need to do it anyway. You've already got 8 slots. I mean, they're not all going to start the same day, So where were we? So Logan Gilbert for the Knockers. I think that's your only one in the top 15 here. Bizzotti's got Jose Barrios, who's slipped a little bit, but still up on top here, along with.
You know what? That
Wheeler.
guy's kind of living up to his bill, huh?
Yeah,
Barrios.
Rio's
Yeah.
great this year.
Let's Play's got Tanner Houck, which was, I guess, a trade with Satch. I didn't remember.
Mhm.
The trade, but Phil mentioned that.
You know what? When he made that trade back in the day, I was like, Jesus Christ, that was kind of fucking a little fucking one-sided. But now I look at it, it's like it's not exactly one-sided anymore.
I thought that too. I didn't think Tanner
Satch?
Houck was that. I didn't know Tanner Houck was this good. But yeah.
Yeah.
No.
What was
Shows
the
what I
player?
know.
Hey
traded
man,
for?
Let's Play believed in him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
Fucking
smart.
Good for him.
What was the player that went to Satch in that deal?
Fuck. What was it?
Oh, okay.
Somebody good though.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'll check. I got it right here.
Oh.
I'll check the trades.
All right. And Spears got Tariq Skubal.
Yeah, people have been waiting on him. He's
Cal-
showing up.
Tanner Houck was traded for Cal Raleigh.
Oh, that's
Yeah, you know what? That's a 30 home run
Yeah,
catcher.
catcher, a top 5 catcher, probably top 3.
Yeah.
catcher.
Yeah. And I'm just like, that's
Wow.
pretty fucking valuable.
Yeah. Tanner Houck's awesome. It shows that I know.
Dude, I wish I could have traded for Cal Raleigh, to be honest with you.
I wish I could trade for Tanner Houck.
I mentioned last week.
Yeah.
Last week I mentioned that I have a mental block with Tariq Skubal and Spencer Turnbull. And
Spencer
I'm
Turnbull
looking
moved
at
his
it.
bullpen.
in Baseball Prospectus, they are right next to each other because they're close in the alphabet, but also it's TS and ST, and there's a lot of U's and ball and bull, and so I guess that's why I confuse it. I won't confuse it anymore.
Google
So
looks
Bake McBride
amazing
has
this
two of
year.
the best pitchers in the league.
Who?
With Shota Imanaga and Ranger Suarez, Bake McBride has two of the best pitchers in the league.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's got Yamamoto too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Satch has 3 on this list: Lugo, Glasnow, and Webb. Yeah. So Bizzotti, we already talked about with Barrios and Wheeler. There's the dad.
Dylan Cease doing great
Cease.
this year.
I don't know if I realized Dylan Cease was doing this well.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Dylan Cease has been fired this year. Thank God he's off the White Sox. And I wish he was on the Cubs, god damn it.
Oh, and Dad's also Blanco, their quick pickup during the no-hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I picked him up in the 6th inning of that no-hitter. And
up for you.
watch, yeah, he's been good afterwards. He's a 30-year-old journeyman through Mexican leagues and all kinds of shit.
I always like guys like that.
Oh man, they're tough. So I'm pretty stoked about him.
Sombreros have Cutter Crawford, another Boston pitcher. I did see that Boston, I'm pretty sure the Red Sox lead the league in unearned runs.
Mm-hmm.
So their ERA is quite good. But
did you hear about their strategy, their pitching strategy this year? What they've been doing?
I don't remember what it was.
They're not throwing four-seam fastballs this year. They have they're throwing, I think, under 20% four-seam fastballs. They're doing all off-speed pitches, everything everything moving the ball, spinning the ball everywhere. And that's the whole team-wide philosophy because they realize that the slugging and the hitting percentage against four-seam fastballs is so much higher.
You got to keep them off edge.
And they're just like, screw it, we're not throwing that pitch then. Interesting way it's playing out. And the Cubs are doing the exact opposite. The Cubs are throwing more four-seam fastballs than anybody else. So see how that plays out?
The faster you throw it, the faster the exit velocity. It's physics.
Well, Cutter Crawford, I don't know if he throws a cutter, but that would be an easy transition for him, right? I mean, just throw your.
Ironically, he throws a Crawford.
You know what? That's one of the reasons, Chris, you brought that up. That's one of the reasons why knuckleballers do pretty well in the game if they're good knuckleballers.
We don't have any.
I know, not anymore.
Yeah.
But we did. And those guys actually did pretty good. Sometimes they got rocked because it just wasn't knuckling the way they wanted it to. But most of the time they had people fucking just like falling on their face. Wakefield.
I never liked Phil Niekro. I was never
he was kind of a cheater too, though. He was always like putting shit on him and stuff.
I know Joe Niekro was caught. Was Phil Niekro a cheater too? I assume they're brothers, right?
Phil Niekro was using shit. He was like, he had files on his fucking belt. He was kicked out of like 3 or 4 games for having
That was Joe Niekro. That was Joe Niekro.
No, that was Phil.
Oh, Joe was the one who threw the nail file.
Well, you know what? Then they were both doing it.
Well, then I'm going to bring
up. Caught.
Do you think Tom Skilling is a crook because his brother was?
Absolutely.
No. But I know I saw a video of Phil Niekro getting busted too. They're brothers. They talk. This is what I do. What do you do? You know, and they try it and whatever, they get caught.
Tom Skilling had a lot of money to retire too.
I'll catch him when he's straying.
It's all that Enron
brother should. Now turns his back on his family. He ain't no good.
I got a refill, Jobu.
Me and Frankie laughing and a drinking. Nothing feels better than blood on blood. Taking turns dancing with Maria. While the band played the night of the Johnstown flood.
Hey, Lou.
Yeah.
If you had to pick 2 guys you think would win the Cy Young, NL and AL right now, just long shot guess, who would you pick?
I don't know. I don't know. Looking at this list, I guess first name that I like is maybe Logan Gilbert.
I like Glasnow.
What was your question? I just sat down.
Who was your long shot? Who do you think would be the Cy Young at the end of the year? From just guessing right now.
I think it's going to be Shota Imanaga.
I hope so. I think Glasnow's got a really good chance too. He doesn't have to pitch a lot of innings. He's going to get a lot of wins. He struck out 14 in 6 innings the other day.
Well, the other thing too is like there's like left-handed pitchers they are unorthodox to most right-handed hitters and left-handed hitters. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like there's so many. They see so many right-handed pitchers. There's not as many left-handed pitchers. That's why they're valuable. But a left-handed pitcher, when they throw the ball, it's at a different fucking angle, and it really fucks up the batter. So I think him being a left-handed pitcher, pitching the way he is right now, and the way the league's like accepting into him, they can't hit him. I think he does better. I think he does better.
I'm rooting for Imanaga. I would love to see that.
That would be great. I mean, in his first year, he's 30 years old. He knows how to pitch. Yeah. He's a professional. He knows it. He really shouldn't be a rookie. but he is
Yeah,
technically.
exactly.
So, I mean, the guy's bringing a wealth of experience over with him and really fucking these guys up.
I was going to look at. Well, I'll do it. I'll do it after done with this year. I was going to look at what the ATC rest of season projections were for Imanaga. I'm just curious about his whip because last week I was like, "There's no way he's going to keep his whip under 1."
Yeah.
It's actually
It's
under
sick.
like 0.8 or something right now, isn't there? Something.
It's fucking sick. It was like 0.6 something when I looked last time.
But there's always time for things to
And the
turn
control. I
around.
mean, it's
And
like
even out.
if you think about it, like what he's doing, people can't hit him, and he doesn't walk anybody.
I like his composure most of all, to be honest.
Yeah, and he's
He's
just
31. Like a guy hit a huge long homer off him the other day, and he went, Jesus Christ, and went over. Like, well, whatever, give me the ball. Don't care. One run.
Yeah, he is pretty light. Like
Yeah.
but he
he's
keeps
not
it
like,
light too.
sweating every result.
But he's a tiny guy too, isn't he?
Yeah,
Like 6 foot, 170 or something. I don't
I'm
know.
trying to remember. Somebody asked him a question the other day, and they say, "What's the weirdest thing
What was the
that this
strangest
culture
place that
does
you
that
and your
you
wife
haven't
have
done
lived?
in the past?" Or something like it to that effect. And he thought about it for a second. He's like, "Well, I've never been able to turn right on a red light."
Pretty great.
Ah, well, what's the good things, You just get this quirky sense of humor that kind of like jives with everything, It's
I
like
like
I
that
love
guy.
the guy. The first thing he said when he got to the Cubs convention is,
Go, Cubs,
"Hey,
go.
Chicago, what do you say? Cubs are gonna win today." It's like it's great.
He sang the Cubs song, right? Didn't he?
Yep. He's winning fans over real quick.
Oh, the dude is just I don't know. He's just got a good sense of humor. I mean, it was through his interpreter,
Yeah.
but I mean, it was funny.
He's easy to root for. I hope his interpreter
Very
is
much so.
stealing. Oh.
It doesn't take much, right? You learn a little bit of the language, and I remember back in the '70s, my dad said they had customers from Korea and Japan, and when they visited, he would fly their flag out
Nice.
up front, and man, he said, "You can't believe how well that went over." It was
Oh,
like,
Carries a
yeah.
lot of weight.
No, you know what that is? That's a show of respect.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that is, man. And it's like that's a welcoming sign. So kudos on your dad for doing that. That's good shit.
he also said the Japanese
Coming from a
guys,
sales
they
guy.
asked about 10 different times if they could go into the manufacturing, and they all had cameras. It's back
Oh,
before
they
cell
take
phones.
pictures of everything because they're
And
gonna
like,
mimic it and build it over there.
and he told them no, like, all 10 times or whatever, like, no.
Yeah, it's a big thing. It's like they used to do it at the steel mills here.
Mm-hmm.
And even back when I was working in the steel mills and stuff, I mean, it's like they would come over here, do a tour, and then try to take pictures of everything so they can figure out what the fuck you were doing.
I
So
know,
that was
that's what
that
he's
was a
worried
big
about.
thing.
Well, let me get on to the hitters.
All right.
So top point getter overall is Mookie Betts by 2 over Ranger Suarez. That's the Cows. See if the Cows have any more. Riley Green. That looks like it's it for the Cows. Let's Play's got Otani, of course. Just 3 points behind Betts, 1 behind Ranger Suarez. And then down at the bottom, they've got Spencer Steer and Jake Cronenworth.
Not a bad team.
So that's 25 and 26. There's 26 hitters. Daddy's got Juan Soto and Bobby Witt. Boom, boom, right there. They've also got Christian Walker, Ketel Marte. You got a bunch of hitters, huh? Adolis Garcia. You got 5 in the top 26. It's pretty good. Just got
Yeah, but I have no
Pitching
pitching.
must be terrible.
And McBride's have 3 in a row right here. Ellie, William Contreras, Gunnar Henderson. Williams the top catcher.
Yeah, that kid, man, I fucking had him, and I was thinking about he was a odd man out at the worst time, and I never got him back. And I'm just fucking kicking myself in the ass for that one. Because I had both Wilson and William at one time.
McBride's have 2 more hitters in the top 26, so they match the Dads. They got 5. They've got Jurickson Profar, who I don't know if anybody would have seen that coming, and Jaron Duran. Let's see.
Around 8 years ago, we all saw the Jerks and Profar thing coming when we were bidding $20 for him. Yeah, just took a while.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he's having a good year. He's off to a great
he's having a
start.
good year.
He
Let
hits
him be
in,
that. Let him be that next year.
he hits in San Diego.
Yeah, that's hard.
Weird. I know they brought the fences in a few years back there, a little, but I don't think it's still much of a hitter's park.
No.
I missed Alec Boehm, so cows have bets and Boehm. And here we go.
Holmes having a great year.
First knocker on the list, Kyle Tucker. You got Fernando Tatis. So you're all set at right field. Don't call up Chris with a right fielder to deal him.
Loaded with righties.
Marcelo Zuna for the Gags. That's our only one, the top 26. Spears got Altuve and Freddie Freeman and Trey Turner, who is going to be out for a month and a half.
Yeah, 4 weeks. That's at least.
He said at least 6 weeks, I think.
Ooh. Phillies are off to a great start. Like 23-12 or something.
Yeah, that's not going to help.
So who's a shortstop that's going to take over that spot? I think Stott goes over there and they bring somebody up to play second base.
That's what they got first. But what they've been doing is Stott's been playing second, and Sosa.
Edmund Sosa has been playing.
Yeah, he's been playing short.
Sosa?
Yeah, Edmund Sosa.
I was hoping that would mean they wouldn't platoon Stott anymore, but they're platooning Merrifield over at second now. They were platooning Merrifield and left, and now it's like, why don't they want to play Stott?
Well, they got Whit Merrifield on that team?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That one, I did not. I don't know. I don't know why that didn't fucking sink in.
Yeah, I missed another cow. Got Riley Green. So they got Boehm, Betts, and Riley Green. Who else we got new here? This is Satch's first hitter, Teoscar Hernandez. It's their one and only top 26 hitter.
Satch has only got one hitter in the top ones?
Yeah.
Dude, Jesus Christ, he's all pitching.
He's top pitching and middle of the pack in hitting so far.
Fuck.
It's going to get worse, everybody. It's going to get worse.
But here's the thing, though. Tommy John's a bitch.
Yeah.
Sombreros.
Let's see, if some of those pitchers start going down, you're in trouble.
Acuna's at what, 22?
Pitchers get hurt all the fucking time.
This last year he was number 1. That's about does it. Oh, and Sally Perez for Hack. I think that's the only guy in the top 26, the second catcher in there. All right. This is their points per game. So you can see innings pitched per game started, points per game, save percentage, all close to 100%, right?
Looks good.
Manuel Clace, what a fucking player, man.
So last week you mentioned about quality starts.
Yeah.
Early in the year.
You know what?
Early in the year would be less likely to have quality starts, but actually so far this year we're at a 40% quality start clip. Not in the league. I think this is this is our I can't compare this, because we're taking the top 120 as opposed to every starting pitcher.
Well, so the first month or two, these managers are they've got a fucking leash on these guys. They pull them back in like 5 innings and fucking they don't want to burn arms out too early in the season.
Not Phil's team. He's got 60% quality starts.
I understand that.
But there's a lot of managers out there that don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand
that with young arms.
Last week after you said that, I looked at it, and I think it was the league was at 38% quality start percentage, and last year was 35%. So for the league, not just our league, I should
getting better.
Let me see.
But the other thing too that what skews that is there's been a couple of no hitters this year. So
we're talking 1,000 games started, but it's 1,000 36 games started so far this year. So I'm just going to see what the percentage is so far. Because last year it was 35%. And it's at,
I
yeah,
like
it's
the way
like
you can just do this on the fly like fucking
35.6%.
MacGyver.
It's about the same as last year, maybe a little higher, 35.6%. So, all right, that's all I got.
Yeah, I gotta show you something. I'm gonna share the screen here for a second.
Well,
Look at this
one of those
shit.
things from last
Look at this
week.
shit.
Yeah, love it.
I mean, he had a rough patch against the Dodgers, but who doesn't? But the rest of it,
Exactly.
he's dominating. I mean, you look at it like 4 quality starts. And here's the thing: what entails a quality start? Because Bailey Ober earlier in the week got 6 innings pitched in, and he did not get a quality start.
You allow 3 runs.
Oh,
You
you
gotta
have
have
to
2 runs or less.
Three runs.
2 runs or less with 6
Yep.
innings pitched.
No, it's three runs or
Oh,
less.
3? Okay.
All right. Well, hold on. I gotta look back. All right. Well, you saw enough of should I? Him and I'll go do my thing. I gotta go look at this.
Last week, you were talking about the Brewers and their strikeout ways, so I looked at it on Fangraphs after they're only 13th out of the 30 major league teams in strikeout rate for their hitters, so they're more in the middle of the pack. The average strikeout percentage is like 23% in baseball. It's a little, it's 14% for walks and 23% for strikeouts. So like, if a guy's striking out 25% of the time, it's like basically average. It's a little bit more than average, but not much. I think you got to get to like 30% before you're really, you mentioned that one guy was at 33%. Yeah, that's too high. I mean,
All right, I have information on this.
Yeah.
Bailey Over got 4 runs in.
There you go.
So I thank you for letting me know that. And I don't know why I didn't know it before, but now I do. And for anybody out there that doesn't, you do.
I mean, for now, in today's baseball, it's really the six innings that's the tough part, right? Because that's only a 4.5 ERA to do 3 runs in 6 innings, but
everyone goes 5 1/3, 5 2/3.
I sent out that thing in February. You look at a game started analysis, for pitchers.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was a higher percentage of you're more likely to get a win when you start a game than you are to get a quality start.
Exactly.
It's actually, lower percentage resulted in quality starts, which
you should switch those numbers then, right?
You would think
quality start should be 5.
You could, yeah, you can do 4 for win, 5 for quality. We'll see, but it'll be somewhere close to that. I mean, it's not going to be, but you would think that it seems like such a modest goal to like allow 3 runs in 6 innings at 4.5 ERA. It's very mediocre, right?
But to make it through 6 innings nowadays,
yeah, if you can go 6 innings, it's such a big, an important thing. I mean, back in like Tom Seaver's day, it must have been every start, maybe except for 1 or 2, would have been quality starts, right? I mean, 40 starts.
Was he throwing a lot of pitches in those games too?
They said that they would throw like 170, pitches.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! Because he had so many strikeouts. Oh.
Every pitcher had a different number. That's what they were talking about. With I think it was Jerry Kuzma was talking about it. So like Nolan, they said he could throw 200 pitches, and I could throw 170. It's like everybody had a little different number, but it was way more than 90 or 100.
Mm-hmm. I always like the whole just the mindset or the concept. That there was only for a while there was 15 or 16 baseball teams. Each team needed 4 starters, so you needed 64 guys who could throw 300 innings.
Yeah.
And we would weed out the people who couldn't. You would just fall by the wayside, and we were left with 64 guys. These guys can throw the fucking ball, man. Check it out.
A long time ago, remember there was like a Cubs pitcher that threw both games of a doubleheader, and he threw.
Wilbur Wood did for a while, right?
I mean, this is like back turn of the century, but like he threw both games of a doubleheader, and he hit complete games, both games. I don't know if he won them. I don't know if he won them both. But
that's amazing.
Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it! I hope I didn't forget my question. I had it there for a second. Go.
I got Bill Veck's story I heard yesterday on the radio. It was pretty fun. Beck was saying when his dad bought his dad is hired by the Cubs to be their general manager because his dad wrote an article about how he would run the team, and owner of the Cubs read it and thought he was good and hired him. And Bill Beck gets to hang out around Wrigley when the Cubs had Grover Cleveland, Pete Alexander. And the story goes that Grover Alexander would take a young Bill Beck over to Riverview over on Western and Belmont.
Yeah, it's where the cop shack is over there.
Exactly. They'd have a dunk tank there, and the whole thing is, you throw the ball, hit the thing, and the guy falls in. The guy is egging you on the whole time. You get 3 balls for a quarter or whatever the fuck it was. But he's like, but if you hit him, you didn't have to pay. That's the whole thing, So the guy keeps riling you up, and this is what you're gonna miss. It's like Bill Beck. I'm walking through this thing, and the guy on the thing, his job is to rile everybody else, and he starts yelling at Grover Alexander, saying, you don't look like he's hitting a broadside of a barn. It's like Grover proceeded to dunk that guy and the next 3 guys for the next half an hour. He would just take the ball, dunk. As soon as he sit down, dunk. Take the ball, dunk. He said he didn't miss for over a half an hour just dunking motherfuckers.
Making people wet.
The guy had no idea who he was talking to. It's not Cy Young, but he's the next best to Cy Young. Christy Mathewson, yeah, he's right up there.
Grover Cleveland Alexander.
Named after the 22nd and 24th presidents of the United States, right?
I thought he was named after the puppet.
It wasn't blue.
Hello there.
You turned
Yeah. He has no UCL.
Exactly.
It's like
Poor Grover. Noodle Orange Grover. Oh, that was the other Grover.
oh,
Yeah.
trying to
Baseball
remember
season
my
off to a
thought
good
from
start.
earlier. I had a point and I just like totally lost
We're
it.
talking about complete games and quality starts, Seaver, and then I talked about the turn of century guy, the doubleheader guy.
Wood.
What were you saying right during that?
I forget.
Wilbur Wood.
Uh,
I think it was
Knucklepuller.
before that.
Back to
But
Knucklepuller.
it's not that important.
Yeah,
You're not gonna fucking halt this shit because they can't fucking remember.
Yeah, old age.
Yep.
Old age and
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
No, you start listening to something when you're thinking about something,
Yep.
and everything gets bobbled, and next thing you know, you fucking lost your thought. It happens to everybody, even when you're fucking 12. I like to think so.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy.
well, Chris, you got any general league thoughts or even specific?
Knockers off to a better start this year. Phil's team looks really tough. I think Doug's going to give him a run this year. I really like Doug's team. He's pieced together. He has a bunch of young guys who can hit the shit out of. And I think he's been moving up to second place. That's without Luis Robert Jr. too, right? He's been out for the whole fucking month for him.
You would look at his. If you said, all right, a month and a half into the season, but you're going to be missing Luis Robert, and Strider's going to be out, and Josh.
Exactly.
Johnson. It doesn't make any sense, and he's doing great.
Yeah.
He has 5 hitters in the top 26.
Yeah,
only
exactly.
matched by all hit, no pitch. My baby's daddies, right?
So, Chris, I have to ask you this though.
Yeah.
If you were to do the Kyle Tucker trade over again, would you rather have Gunnar Henderson and Ellie De La Cruz?
I mean, point wise, yeah, but the whole concept of that at the time was I had Christopher Morel, who I just picked up and thought he was the shit, and I thought that he would kind of cover
He still kind of is.
Ellie De La Cruz. So, and I forget who I had it short at the time. But yeah, I had a bunch of people covering that, and I thought I was good. And I do love Kyle Tucker, to be honest. He's one of my favorite players.
I probably would have done that deal too. I mean, it was a huge deal. That wasn't just those 3 guys. It was like.
Well, I also gave him Gavin Stone and Sandy Alcantara, and then Alcantara blew out his arm a couple weeks later, and Stone's been okay, but
Did you get anybody with too? Kyle Tucker?
No, it was a 4-for-1.
Oh,
and those 2 guys were Ellie had just come up. Gunnar was a NA.
So you really wanted Kyle Tucker, and you threw the kitchen sink at him.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted the
Yeah.
fourth. I got Tucker, Judge, Harper, and Tatis. I figure if I build my team around those guys for last year and this year, I could compete. And last year, the pitching just shit the bed and nothing worked out. So this
Yeah.
year, I'm moving up. So we'll see. I
Oh, you're a
don't
lot
have
better.
I'm with you
You're a
on
lot
that
better
trade though.
position
Like
this year than you were last year at this
Yeah.
time.
I'm with you on Tucker. Like that
Me, I'm
deal.
in the same spot.
There's something I would have liked about him trading for him, and I have this. I guess it's a blind spot or something, but like players like Ellie De La Cruz or even maybe even Tatis, 5 years ago or whatever,
Mhm.
and Shohei, obviously, like these guys that I think are,
more
uh,
athlete than baseball player.
well, no, like they're really hyped,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
you don't want to go overboard underestimating that. You can understand, okay, they're really hyped, but doesn't mean
Mhm.
like that they're not really good.
Yeah.
Like Ellie, I would have really missed the boat on him. And late last year, I thought, see, I wasn't.
That was part of the reason I had no problem making the trade because I gave some NA guy to you for Ellie, and so I'm just like, well, I just picked him up for nothing. I don't mind moving him if I could get Kyle Tucker. Yeah, I didn't know a whole lot about him. I knew he was off to a great start, but then September he really cooled off. But yeah, he's figured it out now. He's fucking MVP candidate, and Gunner is too. So that's how you piece together your team.
Yeah.
If it encourages people to make more 4-for-1 trades with me, let's do it. Still
Have
trying.
some balls.
And you're not going to win every trade you make, right? Obviously,
No, never.
You got to eat some of them. And if it's fair, like hopefully Doug will be willing to trade with me again in the future because he had such a good experience.
Yeah, and you feel bad when it doesn't work out, especially if the guy gets hurt like 10 days later. I mean, they know that you didn't know anything, but it just
It's
feels
like
bad.
it's like Chris's and we traded Justin Steele for Jackson Churio.
Yep.
And his first start, like 4 innings in, he gets a fucking pulled hamstring. I was like, oh.
Yeah, Jeff
I
apologized to
felt
me right away.
horrible. It made me
Didn't
feel
do it.
bad.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, it's just
That
the
was
way
supposed to
way it
happen.
plays out. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're
Yeah,
the
as
boat.
long as it's not like known, like, oh, he's
Exactly.
got a sore hamstring's been bothering him.
But I tell you what,
you want to make full disclosure, right? Well, that he's going to be out for 2 weeks, or
Mhm.
something.
but I'll tell you what, keep your eyes open because in the beer league, guys get hurt a lot right after they get traded. They just do.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it a lot. I've been on
Dumb luck.
the receiving end a lot.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they have secret sources because I don't have those sources.
Yeah,
I
me
put
either.
the guy's name in the search, for the past week. If I don't see anything, what how are they going to figure something out that's not out there?
Oh,
Chris, you have quite the collection of different sized guitars behind your head.
yeah, a couple of ukuleles, the one electric and a classical and just acoustic. One steel string, one nylon string.
I thought they were all the same size, but they were just in varying distances away from us.
We just painted them different colors. Now they're actually all the same distance. They're all hanging on that wall.
Hey,
I guess
Chris,
it makes more sense because they're on
do
the
you
wall.
have a four track at home?
No, we don't
Do
have
you have any
time for
recording
that kind of
device at
shit.
home?
He's got an 8-track.
No.
He's got
No.
he's got the
Here's the
Capsule
thing:
Kings in
you should
1970.
I tell you, you should play around with a recording device and just make songs with your daughter.
She's not into that. She don't like me. Well, she likes me, but she don't want to hang out with me. She's a 15-year-old kid.
This
It'd be
might make her
weird
wanna
if she
hang out
wanted
with you.
to. She real at DC's party. She like realized that she even admitted that we're kind of cool. Not to her, but to other people who seem. So that's potential. I mean, that's as good as you can hope for out of a teenager.
When she's 70 and you're 100, I mean, she's going to think you're really cool.
I always found it weird when you like had the cool dad who's hanging out with his teenage daughter playing music. Like, dude, move on, man. Go hang out with your friends. Go figure out your fantasy baseball team. You're obviously not doing too well.
She accidentally knocked that beach ball over the fence, and everybody went.
We played a show last night,
Nice. How'd it go?
and it was good. It was good. And the other band, they went on before us. The one guy's name was Sam. I was like, oh, that's my son's name. And then I looked at him, and I was like, you're probably not much older than he is. And so it turned out that he's 1 year older than my son.
Sharing the
That must have
bill.
been a popular name.
Yeah. I said, hey, cool name. And he's like, yeah, it's a name. He knows I must have liked it because I named my son that.
He's like, this old creepy guy's hitting on me.
Yeah, exactly. What's Sam's middle name?
Franklin.
Nice. That's a strong name.
That's my dad's name.
Oh, cool.
Franklin?
Franklin St. John. Like it.
So
Well, gentlemen,
Regal.
I gotta wrap it up. Enjoy the company and really appreciate spending some time here on the
thanks for
Beerly
coming on
podcast.
with us.
Yes,
Hey, I'm not
anytime,
far
gentlemen.
behind you.
Love it. Yeah, anytime you need someone to chat with, I will be here, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
We'll be getting back to you probably before the All-Star break anyway.
I look forward to it. Hopefully, we'll all still be in contention, and Phil will
By
have
then, maybe you can learn how to play Lady of Spain with the one on the left there.
I'm just gonna work on the vocals.
Lady in Spain.
I'll get it. Thank you very much, guys.
Me.
I'll catch you later.
All right, see you,
All
buddy.
right, Chris.
Take care, Lou.
All right, bye-bye.
Oh.
All right, Jeff. Well, maybe we're gonna get off easy tonight, right? We've only been
Yeah,
on
well, hey man, I don't know. I've had a good time, but I am tired as fuck.
Yeah, you were still on the road when we were gonna start.
Yeah, I got back a little bit late, and
You haven't eaten probably, right?
I had no, I haven't eaten shit. So
You
that's the
haven't
other
eaten
thing. I gotta find out what I'm gonna eat here in a minute, and it's way after the time I like to eat. Yeah, so 9:20 is about 2 hours after. So it's just the way the things fell.
It's 4:20 somewhere in the Pacific west of Hawaii. Damn.
Yeah, like Guam. No, it's actually no. I think Hawaii from here is 6 hours,
Yeah.
so it's got to be closer to the California coast by an hour. So whatever island is over that way, go figure.
Yeah, I guess I thought Hawaii was 5 from here, but maybe it's not.
I've been to Hawaii a couple times, man. Have you ever been?
I went once, right after we got married.
Oh, dude, that fucking place is beautiful. I mean, where'd you go? Which island?
We went to Maui and Kauai. And,
Okay, so you didn't go to Oahu.
we went there just the last day. See, I told Dan, I
See,
said,
that's
I don't
you
care
need
when
more than one day in Oahu. You
Yeah,
need
yeah.
like you need a week in
But
Oahu.
it's even worse than that because I said I let Diane plan it with the travel agent or whatever that my stepmom they paid for the honeymoon and so they put and I said I don't care where we go, I just want to make sure we go to the Big Island because I wanted to go where the the
Yeah, and you
volcanoes
didn't go
were.
there, did you?
Yeah, so I looked at the itinerary and I was like, but we're not going to the Big Island. She's like, yeah, we are. See, the last day, Oahu. I was like, Oahu's not the Big Island. She was like, where's Honolulu? In Oahu. That's not the Big Island.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe we'll have to go back. That was really the island I wanted to go to was the Big Island.
But the Big Island is actually the youngest island. Oahu is one of the older ones, and it's like the most built up. So
I love
But
Maui.
you know what?
Maui was fun. We went to the place that got, had that big fire last year,
Oh yeah, that town. Oh my God, that was fucking
Jimmy
terrible.
Buffett's restaurant there, and they had like a Bubba Gump. Bubba Gump's there was after Forrest Gump. It was '98. It was right when Harry Carey died during our honeymoon.
It was just really dry there and fucking lightning and shit. It was terrible.
We got married in November '97, but we didn't go on a honeymoon until February. Diane was on this photo shoot down in Florida. As a commercial photography. She wasn't a model. She was shooting a furniture catalog for Crate and Barrel. So we couldn't
Oh,
go
in
in.
Florida? Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. It was cold. She said it was
I
the
kid, I
panhandle.
kid.
It was the panhandle, and in January, and she said you wouldn't believe how cold it would, being on the beach and windy, 60 degrees. It was
Oh, dude.
cold.
I was stationed in Florida for a little while, so I know how cold it can be in the morning and how fucking like balmy and hot it can be in the afternoon.
But anyways, yeah, I
God
remember I looked at the
damn it.
newspaper and I saw that Harry Carey had died. Or I don't even think that it was officially that he had died yet. I think it was just that he had collapsed at a restaurant or something like that. But he was dead.
That was 98.
Yeah, February '98.
So hey, we just did the toast to Harry Carey last Thursday. And so this year it was like some of the usual suspects. Ron Kittle is always there every year.
Where was
And
it?
huh?
Where was it?
Oh, we so here one part of my job, we have to like kind of be the people in the background for all the news fucking shows for the toast to Harry Carey. And I actually enjoy it, actually. I mean, I go there, they feed us breakfast, and we sit back there and hold up signs and do all this shit. We're just like extra support
Why was it
for
last
the
week?
whole
Was it
thing.
his birthday?
Well, they do the toast to Harry Carey every year
But
since he
but
passed
why
away.
why was it last week or whatever?
I don't know why it was in May because normally it's in March.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't matter what day it is. It's not like his birthday.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know if they made a deal, but anyway, Jason Alexander this year did the toast, but it was at the night part of it, So I wasn't involved in the night part of it. I could have been. I chose to go home after a hard day's work.
You don't want to meet Jason Alexander?
Oh my god. I met who's the guy from Saturday Night Live? I met
Seth Meyers.
no, the guy that was part of the club dude with the head go
Will
fuck, I'm having a
Ferrell.
brain fart.
Oh, the little guy.
No, it was
The little guy that
Night
did
at
the
the
monkey.
Roxbury.
Yeah, yeah. Was he the
Chris
little guy?
Kattan.
Chris Kattan.
Chris
Yeah.
Kattan. You know what? I actually felt bad for him because he was a really nice guy, but apparently I went back and I looked at this because I noticed something when he was like walking through, when he had to turn his head, he'd turn his whole body. And I go, that dude's had neck surgery. So he was around. He's very short. I mean, he's like 5. Jason Alexander might be 5 foot. He's just a touch over Danny DeVito. Yeah. Chris Kattan's taller than fucking Jason
Yeah,
Alexander,
I
I'll tell
wouldn't
you
have
that
thought
right
that
now.
too.
But anyway, I saw a picture and they were right next to each other. So anywho, I talked to him briefly about like he's from Bainbridge Island and so is Elizabeth. And it's like I was just telling him, hey, I was hanging out with my girlfriend and we were watching some old episodes of Saturday Night Live. And you came on and she said, that guy's from Bainbridge Island. He's like, I am from Bainbridge Island. And he was asking if she was from Bainbridge Island. I'm like, no, she didn't go to high school there, but her sons did. Anyway, he was just really nice and shit. Um, but yeah, I mean, those there was one time like last year, I'm standing around with Ron Kittle, Pat Tomasulo from WGN. Not to throw names out or whatever. I mean, it was just a weird
I haven't
coincidence.
heard of this.
So it was Pat
Bro.
Tomasulo from WGN, who's like a pretty good sportscaster in the morning. Ron Kittle and Ryan Sandberg. And I'm standing with those three guys, and I'm just like, I'm just hanging. I'm just gonna stick here, you know. And I just, acting like I was just like one of the guys, Well, I'm just like, we were just talking the stories that they were telling. Fucking awesome. And it was me and Pat Tomasula were sitting there looking like little fucking schoolboys to these two baseball players talking about this shit behind the scenes and stuff. We're just like, whoa. So we kind of shared this moment, even though he's a sportscaster, even he was kind of like, what the fuck? All right, cool. But I had to ask him, I said, well, what about those guys in the Phillies, like back in the 90s and shit, like Dykstra, Hollins, Kruk, that group, Darren Dalton.
Yeah, the
I said,
skunk
those
monks.
guys are all about the
What's their
same
nickname?
size. No, they all look like the same build.
Yeah, they had a nickname too. I don't know.
Yeah. And I said, were those guys roiding? And they looked at me and they go, no, those guys were on speed. So they were meth heads.
I think
Seriously.
Dykstra had to have been on steroids though, because he was like 150 pounds.
If
When he
you
was
talk to
looking.
Dykstra now, if you listen to Howard Stern, he's on Howard Stern a lot. He is a mush mouth who's lost all of his teeth. He's barely coherent.
Yeah.
He has drugged himself out to no end, and he's kind of a con man. Because you remember back in the day where they said, "Oh, Lenny Dykstra, he's like this investment guru." Do you remember that?
Yeah, and I know a lot about Dykstra. He was like my
Basically,
favorite
he
player
was
at that
running a
time.
Ponzi scheme, and he fucked a lot of people out of money. He's a piece of shit.
He's a. Don't disagree. I don't disagree. He's a.
You're a Mets fan. I'm
He's a very
sorry.
no. I don't defend him for that stuff, but I'm amazed at him. Like he never went to college. He gets done playing and he opens a car wash, and pretty soon he's got like a chain of car washes in Southern California. He's like a successful guy, and then he decides he's going to do a financial newsletter. Why anybody would take his advice, where he's total non-expert, but he had a financial news publication or whatever like that. He had investors. It's crazy the life he's got an ability. My favorite Dykstra story is the first one when he was scouted. The scout was there to see another player, and Dykstra was playing in that game. And when he saw Dykstra, before the game he thought he was like the bat boy. He was so small, and that game he hit a triple and a double. He made a great cut. He had a great game. So the scout went up to him and was talking to him. Like they'd be interested in sending him to rookie ball, and he said either I go to single A or I don't. So I'm not going to rookie ball. And like the scout thought, like, what the fuck is up with this guy? I mean, like most guys, his stature would have been falling over backwards, like, oh my God, thank you so much. And he was like, I'm not going to sign unless I go to, and then they did. They sent him to single A and he hit like 370, like it was one of the smarter
Yeah,
men.
but he got fucking hooked on drugs and became a fucking moron.
Yeah. But I mean, he was so tiny then he had to have taken steroids. And of course, Dykstra would be the exact kind of person that they said, if you take these steroids, you're gonna, be an all-star, and you'll have a 15-year career, but you'll be dead at 40. He'd be like, all right, I'll do it. So
The biggest one of the most blatant steroiders that caught my eye back in the day was Brady Anderson.
yeah, he hit over 50 homers that 1 year. Right?
Yeah, right. Another one was Brett Boone. Boy, did he just fucking like all of a sudden turn
I
into a
don't remember
monster.
Boone too much.
Oh, Brett Boone was a big one too. I have to say he just jumped from like fucking 20 home runs to like 48. Everybody was hitting fucking 48, 50 home runs back in those days.
Yeah, I mean,
Fucking stupid.
the record books had stayed.
Like, we're not going to notice,
The important thing to remember is that steroids are illegal because they do such harm to your health. And you don't want to encourage kids in high school or even middle school, like, start bulking up and, so they get signed and stuff. That's, you want to take that equation out of it.
Yeah.
But I think what gets lost is like that it's cheating. Like if there was a substance that you could take that would make you stronger and healthier and come back from injuries sooner, but it wasn't bad for your health, then I think we should all be taking that. Like it shouldn't be like, well, that's just cheating because Babe Ruth, he didn't have that back then. Well, there's a lot of things that are better now than they were 100 years ago. I mean,
Absolutely.
I think we forget that, like, to preserve why to preserve like the record book. I mean, yeah, it sucks that you can't really compare the eras directly anymore, but if you can take
You
something,
can't give the spoils to a cheater.
yeah. So the cheating is the big thing, but really initially it should have been that this stuff is awful for you, and we don't want to have high school, college, young minor league players taking this stuff so they can make the pros. The major leagues anyway. But
But also the guys back in the day that did this back in like the fucking 1900s to the fucking 1950s or 60s didn't have access to shit like that.
yeah, I mean, but there's a lot of other
So
areas
how do
too.
you keep the sanctity of baseball when like humanity evolves and they want to fucking pull baseball's fucking like, you know, history along with it? I mean, it's just, yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's part of it too. It's like, Babe Ruth wasn't facing Satchel Paige. I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, you had a big group of you know elite players that we can only wonder what would have happened in those matchups. How many games would Satchel Paige have won? He estimated he won like what 2,000 games, I think.
Yeah. Fuck ton. Hey, I've got two empties here. I'm gonna get one more beer. Are you gonna stay on or no?
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back.
I got my Boda box. It's the most masculine thing you can drink. It's called the Brie.
What brand are you drinking out of the Boda?
It's a Boda. It's the Breeze. It's a lighter, low calories and carbs. It's only 8% alcohol.
Fuck. It's not like a Pinot Noir or a Cabernet or a fucking what?
They didn't really get a good look at the grapes. They just kind of squashed them up and put them all together and just
You know what?
threw it in the box.
You're fucking drinking Ripple. That's what you're drinking.
But it's good. El vino bueno, muy bueno. Feliz 6 de Mayo. Well, maybe I'll tell the joke that I was going to tell last time Jeff left us, last week.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. All right.
Is that the refreshment cartoon with the hot dog?
Yeah, you remember that from the old drive-ins back in the day? Oh, showing our age. Drive-ins, what are those?
Oh man, that was.
There might be one every 500 fucking miles, if not farther.
I think there's still one in Connecticut. There's still one. I think the one that exists used to be an X-rated drive-in. That's the only one that's left. It's showing it doesn't even show first-run movies. It shows like older movies. We haven't gone there.
Hey, you know what? If you're gonna do something like that, it's gotta be down in like a bowl, like a mountainside, kind of like gotta keep that away from everything else.
Yeah, I don't know how they pulled that off.
How would drive down the highway and see a fucking
have the
screen
house
with
like
two people
adjacent to
boning.
the?
I mean, it's
You had a house in adjacent to the back of the theater. You're out in your back deck, like, oh boy, there's a 35-foot penis out there.
But I tell you what, back in the day, there was a bunch of them. We would, there was like more than, I mean, we're talking shit, 75 through 80. When we're in the back seat, my parents are driving around, no car seat because that wasn't a thing.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, you would go by like a, you know, uh, outdoor theater and you could see the
Yeah.
screens. And you just like keep your eyes attached to it because one time, once in a while, you'll see a titty
Oh
because they'll be
yeah.
playing like Halloween or some R-rated flick around that time.
We used to go to the drive-in
Those were the days.
mid 70s, and one time we went and saw. It was my sister who's 5 years younger than I am, so I was only like maybe let's say 10 or 11. So she was like 6 years old. We go to see this movie, and it's a Peter Sellers movie. It takes place in a hospital, and it's a totally an R-rated movie. I mean, there's so much nudity in it. Like nurses are taught. It's like some crazy hospital. Like there's just like a and so my dad turns to my mom. He's like, "What? What's the rating on this movie?" Because he's got two little kids in the back. And then she's like, I thought it was PG. It must be R or something like that. So they made my sister like she had to like duck down and like stay on like but we stayed the whole time. I remember both the movies. But I just
So
thought it
your
was
sister lied to get you guys to go see that movie.
no, I don't know. My mom screwed up. so so I saw my first R movie at like 11. My sister was 6.
I think the first R movie I saw, I can tell you exactly what it was. Hold on a second. I can tell you exactly how old I am once I go into IMDb and see what this
I've got to
movie
look up
was.
that Peter Sellers movie. Takes place in a hospital. I don't know. It's probably the worst movie ever made.
See, I remember that. I remember a lot of it's like, oh, dude, Peter Sellers was fucking great. I wish he didn't die so young.
Yeah, that scene in Being There
All
in
right.
1980 where he walks off into walks off into like it's like a misty, foggy scene. He's like walking on the grass. Like that was the last scene he ever filmed, and then he died a few weeks after that. So
So
it's like,
here's a fucking thing that's creeping me out right now is like we talked about, like I just said, let me talk about the first movie I went to when I was a kid. And then I went to the search fucking bar on IMDb, and the fucking thing, exactly what I was fucking looking for was like two down.
what?
The Thing,
The Thing.
1982. So I was born in 69, so I was 13 years old. And me and my older brother talked my dad into taking us to taking us to this movie. And boy, did that scare the shit out of all of us. That was a fucking scary movie. But it was cool. I mean, it was cool. And my dad was fucked up. I mean, it was cool.
The other movie was
So the one with Kurt Russell and Ned Beatty when his head comes off and
I never saw that.
goes like a crab across the room. It's crazy.
The other movie was called Arnold, and that was where this guy died, and all his heirs are just after his money. I can't remember what it was, but he they had a portrait of Arnold, the guy that had died, the rich guy that had died, and the eyes in the portrait would like move around, like it would like look. It was like really cheesy.
Is it a mini series?
No, it was a movie. It was English. It was called Arnold, and it wasn't Bad Ronald because that people.
Oh, it's 1973.
Arnold was 73.
I
Yeah,
think so. Who was in it?
I don't remember, but
All right.
I did watch it after. Like
It
I don't
was
know,
Stella Stevens, Roddy McDowell, Elsa
yeah.
Lancaster, Shayna Wells.
It's really supposed to be more like a comedy, but it scared the crap out of me. I guess I was only, if it was 73 and we saw it in the drive-in, I don't know. I guess it was 74 when we saw it in the drive-in. And I don't know. I mean, we had a portrait of my mother in the living room, even though she was still alive then. And I would walk by that portrait at night, and it would freak me out because I'd look at the eyes like to see if they were moving like they were in this movie. But all the people like they were like these selfish people, and they all got killed in all these disturbing ways. Like I don't know, like he was
So check this out. So on IMDb, there's a little tab that says more like this. And these are the options they gave me. Because Fatal Games, Killer Condom, and Magic Crystal.
0 for 3 on that. I don't know.
Killer condom. I've never, ever, ever. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can put this up here. Can you read it?
Plot takes place
Killer
in
condom.
New York and in present in a hotel called Quickie.
That was a comparison to that. Padres beat the Cubs 6-3.
What did the Mets lose by?
Oh, I don't know. Check. Yeah, I kind of regret trading fucking Pete Alonso to you.
He's not doing anything for the past.
He's like
week
a
or so.
streaky fucking bastard, is what he is, but at least it's a little exciting. I thought Encarnacion Strand would be the guy to fill his shoes, and boy, that guy hadn't done shit. So
I
Mafopod.
wouldn't give up on him forever, though. I mean, I don't know.
I know. You know me. I stick on to people too long.
If you look at his, I'm sure you probably already have. If you look at his career numbers, like the minors, like he did well every
Oh, I know.
place. Like
I know, but there's also those things as 4A players and not fucking major leaguers. So
maybe.
there's
I mean,
there's a couple years going on here.
it's a possibility. But I would be higher on him than a lot of guys. I don't know. I don't like the guys that like have the good tools and they, like in Moneyball, and he said like, if he's such a good hitter, why doesn't he hit good? But Strand did hit good. I don't know. But yeah, what you're saying is right. I mean, it's possible that he just can't do it at this level, but I wouldn't give up on him yet. I mean, he's.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not. But no, he's had some really good, success in the minors. I'm not gonna just give up on him.
I mean, giving up
But
on
I'm going, man, go, come on, let's go.
giving up
And
on him
he's
in the
not
beer
going.
league. Giving up on him in the beer league is different from saying that he's not ever going to be good. I mean,
I will give up quicker on a pitcher that gets me -20. Just out of spite. He can be good. I'll be like, you know what? Fucking get the fuck out of here. I just have a hard time with pitchers doing that to me. I just,
sucks. It sets you back. I mean, it's like it's not just like no production. It's like it takes a win off the board right there. Like
it can take you from 4-2 to fucking 0-6, depending on how bad it is.
Well, if you go the difference between a good start and a bad start, yeah, that could be a couple of wins right there.
Terrible shit.
What are you drinking? Your Shiner Bock?
Yeah, in my Shiner koozie. Yep. Easy peasy. No whiskey this week.
I had some Pacifico last night at the bar we played at. It's like a Mexican beer. I was looking. It's low. It's low. It's 4.5% alcohol. I was looking for something that wasn't strong. It was good. I really liked it. I mean, I liked it way better than like a Corona or something like that.
There's better Mexican out there. There's better Mexican beers.
Well, this was on tap. I only had like 8 choices. That was the best choice. Plus, they had pictures of it.
There's a beer that we just got, kind of by default, but it is so the guy who originally came up with this brand was from St. Louis, and I think he might have been working for Anheuser-Busch, I don't know, but like sort of the Civil War happened, so he split to Mexico. He was a French guy, straight up French, came to America, tried to get settled, and all of a sudden Civil War happened. So he's like, fuck this, I'm out of the country, I don't want to know part of this shit. So he takes his brewing knowledge down to Mexico, and I think he ended up in like San Luis, and started a brewery called Monopolio. So Monopolio actually had a baseball team too, the Mexican baseball team, and professional baseball team and everything had their Monopolio across the chest and everything. But it was just that brand went from like 1886 to like 1940. And I think it was like World War II kind of like halted a lot of stuff. And then I don't know if the guy that like ran the company maybe passed away or whatever. There's like some gray area.
Maybe during polio it wasn't the.
But it never came back after World War II. So it was like a
Does that mean
dead
like polio
brand and
mountain?
shit. Yeah. And then this guy kind of caught on to it and bought the brand. He was a brewer and stuff, bought the brand and revived it and went by the same recipe, for a couple different recipes. And then he had his own recipe for an IPA. Really good shit.
How do you spell it?
It's called Monopolio. It's not available everywhere. I mean, it's still pretty like small now, but we've got it in Chicago. It's I think maybe in the Southwest. Hasn't gone east yet. Could be New York.
When
Not sure.
I want to get that moody tongue out here, the Pilsner aperitif or whatever, the aperitif.
Dude, I was just over there on Friday. So my team, we took my team out there and yeah, uh great Jim DeBoe, great guy. Fed my team a bunch of pizza, fed us a bunch of beer, gave us a little tour, and got a little like sales lesson on their stuff. So Moody Tongue is so good.
Yeah, so you
They
like
are
it.
doing it.
DC
They've got
was
an orange
DC was
pineapple
uh,
IPA that
DC
is
was
so good.
poo-pooing it. Remember I brought it up at
What's
Lemon.
that?
DC sort of poo-pooed the moody tongue,
Yeah, whatever. They're a food beer. I mean, it's like their beers are meant to go with an elegant dinner.
Oh.
They got 2 Michelin stars for their brewery. So
I had it with your frozen pepperoni pizza. I don't know, does that qualify?
what you got to do is double stack the jacks.
I know. I told Diane about that.
Try it. Should you try it?
Well,
Go 5 minutes, one on each level. Pull one out, and then slide the other one right over the top, and then you put it back in for about fucking 15 more. Dude.
that's too complex.
It's a game changer.
That's too complex for me.
No. It's just yeah, whatever, too complex. Don't give up on it's good. Try it. You'll like it. Anywho, I gotta go home. I'm home. But no, I gotta get something to eat.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, we'll see you next week with someone new.
Yeah. Who's it gonna be?
I don't know. We'll go down the list. We've already had what? Chris, Phil, Doug, you and me. So we got a lot of people to choose from.
What are the odds on FanDuel?
Well, I usually I'll ask like long-standing people that have the most championships, first, and then we'll go from there.
Hey, did we talk to Mike yet?
No, we should.
Why don't we do this with him next week if he's willing to do it?
Yeah,
Because I mean he's like the new guy in town, so let's
yeah, that's not a bad
I
idea.
think we should wrap with him and stuff and see how he's doing so far. You know what? I mean, he started off like pretty terrible, but he's like kind of like drug himself back up a little bit. He's kind of
Yeah.
getting himself to the middle of the pack, so he's figuring it out.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So
we're not that good.
no, none of us are. It's all luck.
Most of us.
It's educated luck. All right. Ladies and gents, the beer
All
league,
right.
I wish you farewell.
All right,
Lou,
Jeff. Good luck this week.
you're a gem.
All right. Bye-bye.